entire social feed is crashing out about Katy Perry going to space. I can't escape it. No one can escape it. And I personally can't even get over the fact that she sang "What a Wonderful World" while they were up there. And then I saw videos of her kissing the ground when she got back. So, all in all, I feel like I'm just in a simulation.
No, I'm literally crashing out about them only being up there for 11 minutes. Technically in space for like 2. Like actually in space, like 2.
That's crazy. I thought they were going to be up there for like weeks. I thought they were going on. I suppose going into space, period, is technically a mission, but I thought that they were going to actually do some kind of mission or activity or something. Something. But I keep seeing tweets about, and social media posts about things that took longer than this trip to space.
Oh my gosh.
Because Taylor Swift's All Too Well 10-minute version short film was longer than their trip to space. The fastest open-era Grand Slam final was longer than their trip to space. And then I was thinking about it, and even, like, the Friends pilot was longer than their trip to space.
It's actually insane. It takes me longer to get, like, a matcha at my local coffee shop than they went to like whole space and back.
No, that's actually so funny. Yeah, it takes me longer to walk downstairs and get a coffee or get to the train sometimes than it took them to be in space.
Absolutely crazy. But like you said, social media is freaking out over this. So I need to read some threads and some things that I found on social media about this because it's so funny. Someone said, Katy Perry was launched into space. Bro, we literally just want affordable housing. Fair.
Period.
Fair. Someone else said, imagine you're one of the 2 who got stranded on a space station for 9 months, and now you have to hear Katy Perry saying she's an astronaut who feels super connected to love after an 11-minute trip. Also hilarious. My final and favorite. Y'all just hate Katy Perry because if Lady Gaga went to space, people would act like it's the coolest thing ever. I do have to say, that is true.
Because I literally was thinking, like, I was thinking about Lady Gaga going to space.
Yeah.
Even
it just
before,
makes sense for her.
Yeah, even before seeing that tweet, I'm like, that feels like, I don't know. That feels on brand. If she were to ever desire to go to space, I'd be like, okay, bet.
Yeah. Absolutely. Take up space.
Take up space. Yes, because apparently, y'all, when they got up there, there's a video of them hitting 0G and all screaming, take up space at the camera. Which is so interesting because this is potentially so existential, but it really just makes me think about how, like, some of us can't even afford or can barely afford groceries, let alone a vacation, let alone getting to space. Yeah. And we keep having disasters off the ground or in the ocean. And I'm like, y'all, can we just focus on making life here a little bit better? And not to be like a negative Nancy, but that is really how I'm feeling.
No, go off, take up space. Take up space, Chloe. Don't be afraid.
I know, because people are so upset at all these millionaires going to space and shouting take up space when life on Earth is so hard, and it just kind of feels tone deaf, and people keep comparing rich people behavior right now with the Capitol and the Hunger Games, which is potentially a little extreme. But that is, like, one comparison that I keep seeing people make. And I'm just tuned in. I'm just paying attention.
And not to say it's exactly like District 12 or anything, but, like, people really can't afford eggs. And we're going to take a whole trip to space. It feels a little District 12-y. It does.
All in all, I think we're all just confused.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, I can't tell if I'm mad. I'm just confused. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back to reading in the park, or, like, I'm going to go back to making my dinner now.
I know. And it is wild.
Also, like, I don't even know if I want to go to space.
I definitely do not. I have no interest at all.
Definitely don't want to go down in the ocean. That freaks me out.
I'm very claustrophobic, like, very. Yeah. I hate being in small spaces. I literally freak out. So the thought of being in a tiny little sphere that sends me up to space or in the ocean, just kill me. Kill me right there before it even happens.
If you could guarantee I would only be only be there for a single day and that everything would go according to plan, I would go. I would go to space for like a day so I could see the stars and like write poetry. And then I would want to come back.
Almost. So,
but I don't necessarily want to. I don't feel a strong desire. Like, that's not even in a realm of possibility for me. I'm trying to take a vacation. That's my goal. I'm not trying to leave Earth. What do you mean?
I love that you want to go to space and write poetry.
I've said that for years. That was a question one time in a friend group.
What?
And I don't remember why we were talking about this, but we were talking about if we would want to go to space. And I was like, I mean, for like a day to like write essays and stare at the window and then I'd want to come back. And that's all y'all need to know about me, apparently.
That's so crazy. Wow. I'm really shook over that. That's like my favorite thing you've ever said ever. You want to go to space and write poetry.
Listen, I go to the beach and write poetry. It's just the other side of the coin.
No, it's genuinely so wild. But I will say, though, that we can't talk about this space trip without talking about Amanda Wynn.
Oh, so
think
true.
She's amazing.
I was reading about her.
She's so iconic, and I'm so glad I found out about her because she became the first Vietnamese woman in space. Mm-hmm. And so going to space had always been her dream, but she took like a 10-year break to advocate for civil rights after she was unfortunately raped as a senior in college. So she took a huge 10-year break because of it. And I mean, she was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, and she's credited with the passing of the Sexual Assault Survivors Bill of Rights Act. And for her zero-G indicator, Amanda brought her a hospital band from when she was assaulted and a note promising herself that if she paused her pursuit of being an astronaut, one day I would return to her. And it makes me so emotional because her bravery is so beautiful, and I am just so glad I learned about her from all of this. So that was incredible, but, you know, I don't know. All in all of this has just been so crazy, and the Katy Perry of it all has just been like an SNL episode waiting to happen. I don't know.
No, literally. I know I was reading about those zero-G indicators, which apparently I had never heard about before, but it's something an astronaut brings into space to let everyone know that, oh, this is floating, so now we have entered zero-G, apparently, is what they're for. Yeah. I just love that she brought both of those things because I feel like there's such power in having both of those things in space with her. And then I believe when they got back to the ground, she like just pumped her fists in the air and was talking about how she had finally done it. And that's just such a beautiful, singular example of just like human resilience and the human spirit and female resilience. And I feel like that in and of itself could be a whole episode. Amanda, we love you. Literally, if you ever see this for any reason, we love you so much.
No, actually, you're iconic.
But I agree, not even talking about like the meme side of everything happening, not even SNL writers, I feel like, could have come up with this. And it's just like, we'll see what happens this weekend on SNL, because honestly, I'm wondering if it's going to end up in a sketch.
Oh my gosh, they have to. They have to. Oh, that's going to be so funny.
And I really need Bo and Yang to end up in space for some reason. I feel like he often plays like non-human objects, and I could see him being like a star that's like passing the rocket as Katy Perry sings.
That's so true.
I'm painting a picture.
I fear this will definitely happen. This will definitely happen.
But also talking about SNL, and just celebrity chaos in general has been the theme of this week on social media and in pop culture. Because have you been paying attention to what's happening with Aimee Lou Wood?
Yes, I have.
Because what in the world is going on? SNL made a joke about her teeth in this past episode last week that she did not find funny. And it has been very just interesting and a lot to keep up with kind of the conversation and the response. And I know that might not be the correct use of a lot, but I use it in that. I'm like, this is just a lot. This is a lot.
It is. No, it is. Yeah, she was crying in public this week. So basically, SNL, they did this, like, White Lotus sketch called The White POTUS, where they replaced the characters in the show with members of the current U.S. administration.
Right.
But they left Aimee's character, Chelsea, the same. Just completely the same. And so SNL cast member Sarah Sherman wore these, like, huge fake teeth and made jokes about fluoride and, like, really exaggerated faces to tease Aimee about her teeth and, like, how she actually is. So I don't know. It was just, it felt a little tone deaf. Like, I didn't really like that joke.
Yeah, I wouldn't find that funny either, because I know Aimee literally pointed this out, that it was making fun of Aimee. It wasn't making fun of
not
the
Chelsea.
character, because, like, fluoride jokes, for example, is her teeth health when she has fine teeth health.
Yes.
She did say she was not crying about anything the papers were saying she was crying about.
Yes. Yeah.
There's just very chaotic.
Yeah. And she even went on,
it is week.
Very chaotic this week. But she did go on her Instagram story and she said that she thought it was mean and unfunny. And she just, like, called them out, which I loved, because I think SNL could use a little bit more, like, calling out. But she just, like, called them out, and she said she'd rather talk about her work than her physical appearance. But yeah, I loved how she called them out for it, and I thought it was all just crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But they did apologize.
I was going to say, SNL did apologize, so hopefully it's all wrapped up nicely. Yep. But we will be getting a new SNL episode this weekend, I believe. And we're also getting a new episode of The Last of Us after last week's premiere on April 13th. And y'all know I cannot pass up an opportunity to leave you with a weekend watch recommendation. So my recommendation right now is The Last of Us, which is going to be on HBO and Max every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And
you said Twitter is freaking out about Pedro, right? Like, Twitter's just losing it.
Yes. All my social media is going crazy because of Pedro. So there's, like, a line in the first episode where Caitlin Deaver's character, Abby, it's the aftermath of Joel wiping out the Firefly Hospital in season 1. Abby wants revenge because her and her friends have lost all of these people that mean a lot to them. And so she's proving that she knows exactly what Joel looks like. And she's like, he has a scar on his temple and he's in his 50s and he's graying. Like, she just lists off all these physical attributes. And then she goes, oh, and they say he's handsome, I forgot. And it's supposed to be like a sassy joke. But girl, that has spawned edits. Dozens and dozens of edits of that clip, and then just Pedro just standing there. And that's
because yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Oh my gosh, it's like every other thing for me, because my TikTok is like all edits. I'm gonna be so honest.
Mine is just Pedro, so
great, perfect. We're in the same boat. And then some tweets that I've seen that made me laugh was the Last of Us official account tweeted pictures of him at a desk with his glasses on that said Office Siren Corps. And I was like, not from the official account. And then I saw one that said he went from daddy to father to the ultimate peepaw in the blink of an eye. And I literally had to do a double take on that one. I still cannot believe that one.
The ultimate peepaw is crazy.
The ultimate peepaw is crazy. Because, like, 5 years has passed, so they all look a little different because they're older.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I saw one that I thought was kind of funny just because it was so aggressive, of a smiley Pedro from, like, a future episode. And the person said, he did nothing. Leave him alone. And I was like, that's me. Alone. That's how I feel.
Leave him alone. I'm so serious.
Oh my gosh. I'm crashing out over this show all the time. Yeah. So add that to the list of themes for the week. chaos, celebrity, crash out. The 3 C's.
That is how I feel. And yeah, speaking of chaos and crash out and all those things, I have been watching so much TV, but one thing that I have been so obsessed with is Dr. Odyssey. And listen, that's the plot just gives. It gives chaos, it gives crash out. So why I love Dr. Odyssey, let me just explain this to the people. Not just Joshua Jackson, which that is probably the main reason.
Yeah.
But the pacing is so good. I get bored of TV very easily. Like, just speed things up for me. And so Dr. Odyssey is like, every 2 minutes, somebody loses a leg, somebody's dying, somebody got bit by a shark. There's cougars going after young men. There's plastic surgery. So, like, the plot is every week on this ship, there is a new cruise. In Dr. Odyssey, he is the main doctor, and so he's always dealing with all this crazy stuff. He has 2 other nurses that also help him.
Heard. A
little bit of a relationship blooming between them, but the main plot is like every week of the cruise there's a new theme, like Cougar Week, MILF Week, Plastic Surgery Week, all that stuff.
But
crazy. There's people, I know, it's wild. The themes that they come up with, I'm like, whoa. But yeah, so there's always something crazy happening like every couple minutes. I've thought about timing it, honestly, and seeing if it really is like every 3 minutes.
Oh, you have to.
I need to, because the pacing is just like spot on. So that's my obsession. The chaos is amazing. I love it. I eat it up.
Okay, so then I'm wondering, like, if tragedy continues to strike on this, are they on a cruise?
Yep. They're on
like,
a cruise.
why do people keep coming on this cruise if tragedy continues to strike?
You know, I've been asking myself that, but I'm thinking they just don't know, because it's a new group of people every week. So I'm thinking they just don't hear about it. But no, it's like there's somebody near death or dying every couple of minutes.
Right. Honestly,
so I will never get on a cruise ever again. But
oh no!
But it's good TV.
Oh my gosh. And I know I've been literally thinking this week, unrelated to Dr. Odyssey, how much I want to go on a cruise. Oh. So I've also been thinking about how I used to ride horses, and that is perfect timing because for anyone missing 1923, Ransom Canyon is coming to Netflix on April 17th.
Yes.
And it's for the horse girls. If y'all are missing the horse girl era, she's back. She's been back, and she will continue to stay. But it's kind of giving, like, so it's about these ranching families and all of the drama and relationships between them in this small town. There's, like, some teenagers who are, like, figuring out everything that comes with being 18.
Yeah.
And then the adults have, like, known each other since high school. So there's just a lot of tension between everyone. It's kind of giving My Life with the Walter Boys. It's kind of giving... I was going to say Friday Night Lights because Minka Kelly is in it. But there is, like, a little bit of football, but it's not, like, Friday Night Lights level of how much you see football. But I was really intrigued. And I can't wait to watch the rest of it. So... if y'all are into that, I definitely recommend.
It sounds really interesting, and it makes me think of something else. Can I say one more thing that I actually am obsessed with that I just remembered?
Please do.
I am obsessed with the show Farmer Wants a Wife.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I have, and I think I've watched a single episode.
Farmer Wants a Wife is it's more chaos. I eat it up. I love it. And it's just about these 3 farmer boys that are, I think it's 4 farmers that are looking for a wife. And it's like The Bachelor, but they have to, like, try and see if these girls are down to farm. And there's John. I think John is my favorite farmer. He's a cutie, and I can't wait to see who he chooses. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wait, do you think you could ever be a farmer? I remember wanting to be a farmer as a child.
I grew up on a farm, so yeah.
Oh my gosh, wait. That's amazing.
No, my grandma had a farm, so I like grew up like riding horses.
Yeah.
All the hay, all the stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So is that like, do you think a reason that you're into Farmer Wants a Wife? There's like some kind of added context for you?
Yeah, it reminds me of where I grew up in Kentucky. So every, like, all of the farms they're on, it reminds me of home. So I think that's why I like it. I really like it.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, I totally feel that. That's how I feel about beach shows. I'm like, oh, we're on the same page. Or like, I'll be watching a movie.
Outer Banks.
Outer Banks? Y'all know I love the Outer Banks. I'll be watching a movie just randomly, and they'll be sitting on a beach, and I'll be like, that's Wilmington. And I'll look it up, and it's Wilmington, North Carolina, where they film a bunch of stuff. So I guess it's just recognizable.
Yeah. The Summer I Turned Pretty was in South Carolina, right?
No, Summer I Turned Pretty is in North Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
In Wilmington. And then they also filmed on my campus. So stay tuned for an episode about that when that drops. But they filmed on my college campus, UNC Chapel Hill.
Well,
go off.
Those are some TV recommendations for you. We gave you plenty of chaos and Crash Out and all that stuff to talk about.
So much stuff to watch this weekend, you guys.
Yep. So if you're watching, then let us know all of your hot takes. Like we just gave you ours at Brit Co.
Yes.
And
absolutely. Because we will definitely keep these conversations up. We can't stop talking about it like to each other. And so we can't wait to talk about it with y'all too.
Absolutely.
And we will see you next week.